This video is going to help you create your thumbnail sketches for a sculpture in the round. I'm starting with my photograph so I can see all my details, and the very first thing that I want you to do is break it down into the most basic shapes that you see. So right now I see a rectangle in the bottom part of my cupcake, so I drew that over here for my first sketch. The top part of the cupcake to me looks like a triangle, so I drew that on top of my rectangle. Then we can kind of break it down into a little bit less simple shapes. So I still have my rectangle on the bottom, but I do notice that the frosting has some ridges here that I would like to have shown in some way in my final sculpture so that I can see and tell what I'm looking at. So I broke it down into kind of like a skinny oval or kind of a rectangle shape for those top parts, and then that very top part still looks like a triangle to me. Then I looked at my cupcake again and I tried to add in just a couple more details, because again, when I have this as a finished sculpture, I want people to be able to know what they're looking at and be able to tell. So I redrew what I had here, but I added just some details. So the details that I see in these lines on the bottom of my cupcake here. And then I also kept those ridges with the frosting, but I added in those sprinkles to add some detail to my cupcake. Then my next sketch, I started to break down my sketch into what that might look like as a 3D sculpture. So I want to look at my shapes and how those would create different kinds of forms. So thinking back to your 4 forms that you started with for your sculpture and for your experimenting, you created the tube,